Welcome back to the Journeyman save. We are ending the season with Wolverhampton Wanderers today, aiming to finish as high in the league as possible. But Fabio Silva, our only real goal scorer, is still out injured for up to 3 weeks, and probably more so, really, with rehab. So he may not play a part in any of the 4 games we have remaining this season. But developments since we ended the last stream and have started this recording. Fabio Silva, now that Man United, Real Madrid and Inter are no longer interested in him, it's only Leipzig, he has agreed a new contract. A new 5-year deal worth £140,000 a week, which should see his value hopefully go up. They did lock in, though, a release clause of about the same as what he's already on. But he deserves the extra wages, so I'm quite happy to give him the contract. And also, we are selling, confirming it literally right now, that Gonçalo Guedes will leave us to go to Chelsea at the end of the season. He was considering his options, so would only have been on the club's books for another year. And at 50 million... for a player that has only a year left on his contract, I couldn't turn that down. So he's going to leave us in the summer, which is not far away now at all. And we will have to look to replace Gonçalo Guedes, but that is not a problem. We are going to get 70% of the transfer revenue from that made available. 41 of it is up front, and then 10 million over a few instalments. As we head now into the game at home against Sheffield United, hoping that we can stay in the division. The situation is as follows. We are currently 15th, 7 points above the drop zone with 4 games to go. With 16th placed Sheffield United and 20th placed West Brom still to play. However, as we say, Fabio Silva is out injured currently. He scored more goals on his own than the rest of the entire squad put together. Respect. Respect. Jose Mourinho vibes from Fabio Silva. So he's going to be particularly difficult to replace for the remainder of the season, but he will be back for next year and will stay, provided no one triggers that £98 million release clause. So Fabio Silva will continue to be our star man for the foreseeable future. Hopefully, though, we can get a win against Sheffield United, and that should put us safe. We only really need, arguably, 3 points to secure, to absolutely guarantee our survival in the Premier League for next season. We may even, and there's an off chance of it, depending on what jobs become available in the summer, or at the end of the season, we may even look to move. We've not been at Wolves for long, but we'd have come in, done the job of saving them from relegation, and if that in turn allows us the opportunity to jump to a different club that's bigger, then I'd certainly be open to it. Arsenal are currently 10th, and if I can get the Arsenal job at the end of the season, I'm not sure what the managerial situation is. Pep Guardiola's been there 24 days. Never mind, Mikel Arteta was sacked earlier this season, so that position is gone. But there may be some big jobs become available. Maybe Tottenham or Manchester United underperforming, even perhaps somewhere elsewhere in Europe that we might perhaps move to in the summer. But at the minute, we're concentrating on Wolves, and we'll try and get this season finished as strongly as possible. Do drop the video a like if you're enjoying this Journeyman save. Let me know in the comment section at this particular moment in time, where do you think we'll end up next season? Are we still going to be at Wolves, or are we going to go elsewhere? We'll wait and see. Thank you very much for watching, though. Come and join me live on Twitch. There's a link in the description down below. You can come and watch me stream this live and have your say on a more first-hand basis. Right, let's go and play Sheffield United. Get ourselves 3 points if possible. Right, Sheffield United at home. They are above the relegation zone by 4 points. Fulham have lost on match day 35, so the gap is still 7, and they only have 9 points available. Norwich have third place Chelsea. If we can win this game, then I'm pretty sure, with Norwich losing to Chelsea, we might well be safe. If we win this, we would be confirmed as safe. I'm sure of it. But the ball isn't in the back of the net yet. We haven't even had a highlight with a shot on target yet. Season 1 release, you finished 7th. Now in Season 2, 9 games in a row. Or 9 games in, you're top unbeaten with some tactical genius. Nice work, Carter. As Ivan Toney gives us a 1-0 lead. Fabio Silva injured. We needed whoever came in his place to step up to the plate. Ivan Toney steals it off the defender and then rushes into the box and buries it. That's what we bought him for. That goal could seal our Premier League status for next season. If it stays as is, we are safe. And we would have not only league titles and promotions to our name in this save, but now a relegation fight win, so to speak, as well. Oh, De Gea saves, but John Egan is going to get there to turn it home. Sheffield United are level. John Egan has been at Sheffield United for years and years by this point in a save, hasn't he? I'm sure. Meunier, his corner comes in and, well, Jahanbakhsh has the initial effort, but it's well stopped. And John Egan, I'm sure, has been at Sheffield United for donkeys, and he has. It's a lovely ball through to Musa. We might go in 2-1 down. We will go in 2-1 down. Peter Musa, with his 9th goal of the season, actually gives Sheffield United the lead here at Molineux. That's not part of the plan. Anthony's in. Goal. Anthony's first goal for the club. His first goal contribution for the club as well, without any assists so far this year. Although he did lead to a goal in a previous game when he drilled the ball across the box and it hit a defender and went in. So nice finish too. Lovely first touch. And on the outside of his right foot, Anthony gives us an equaliser 5 minutes into the second half. And we will encourage everyone from that and try and push on. Peter Musa adds another 10th goal of the season for him as Sheffield United are in front again. Right in front of those travelling fans in the corner. That wasn't great, was it, lads? And Ndombele on the run. Nice ball round the corner. Anthony does have options in the middle. Raul Jimenez is there and his header is going to go in, and this one will count. It is 3-3 in the final stages here against Sheffield United. We will, provided we can keep them out for the rest of the game, get at least a point here. 5 minutes added on at the end of the game, and no further highlights since our equaliser. We'll take that. I'll say I'm disappointed. We should have won it with the amount of chances we had, but they fought hard. We are now 8 points from the drop zone with 9 points available. Fabio Silva, work permit granted. He has committed his future to the club. Fabio Silva will be a Wolves player for the next 5 years and 2 months, at least, we hope. Still only a C with the board, a B- with the fans. I was frustrated at at drawing with Sheffield United, conceding 3 goals, but cut out the mistakes, and there's no reason why we can't do something against West Ham here. I'm just going to say have fun and enjoy the game. All we've got to do is just not lose, and we're safe for next season. West Ham are a good side, though. They're 7th in the table, pushing for European football, whether that be Europa Conference League or Europa League, remains to be seen. But they do have a game in hand on Tottenham. Pablo Fornals has won that back. Jared Bowen, they warned me about in pre-game. Paqueta's going to win that header and it's going to go in. And we're going to be 1-0 down inside 8 minutes. Lovely stuff. Just the start we needed. No. It doesn't look like we're going to get the result, does it? West Ham are the better side. The league table doesn't lie at this stage of the season, does it? And the better side are going to get the 1-0 win. We fought back in the second half, but unfortunately it wasn't quite good enough. I'll say I'm proud of your efforts today. It wasn't to be. So, if Fulham and Norwich both lose or fail to win, then we are safe. Norwich have Man United. Fulham did win their game, annoyingly. Fulham beat Leeds away by 2-1. So the gap at the minute is 5 with 2 to play. You expect Norwich to lose, and they have done. So Norwich are... Well, they're not down yet. No, they are. Norwich are relegated. That's Norwich down. Expectations for the board is a draw, actually, but a win for the fans would be huge. Fabio Silva passes a fitness test, so he's fit to play. The back line picks itself. In midfield, I'm actually going to go with Sergio Oliveira holding now that Al Maserati's picked up the knock. We'll go Nelson on the right, Alenia at cam, and Orta on the left with a fit-ish Fabio Silva up top. Sergio Oliveira with a free kick. First highlight we've seen in the game. Danso can't win his header, and Mitrita will come away with it for West Bromwich Albion. Support is arriving in numbers. It's going to find DK, but David De Gea picks up the loose ball. That was pretty straightforward for David. Free kick in a really promising position for them here, though. It's Mitrita again. Wide. West Brom threatening. And despite all of our ball, we're not shooting enough. We're not creating enough chances. Having a lot of the ball is one thing, but you've got to actually do something with it. I'd rather have 40% and actually have shots than have 60% and no shots. Possession for possession's sake is pointless. Fabio Silva's header hits the post and he'll get there for the follow-up, and we will lead by a goal to nil with his 20th goal of the season. Right at the very end of the half, that goal could seal what is almost certainly going to happen anyway, but could seal Wolves staying up in the Premier League and might actually take us above Everton and into 14th. West Brom have had too many chances for my liking, and I have a horrible feeling it might just be a matter of time until they get an equaliser unless we add a second. Guedes into the box, pulls it back. Alenia finds the bottom corner. There's the second we were asking for. 20 minutes to go. That's us getting victory away from home against the big rivals for Wolves. West Bromwich Albion, whose goal difference now reads minus 52. Make that minus 53. Not cut out for this level, this West Brom side, or even close to it. Even if they had double the amount of points they've got right now, they'd still be bottom and 11 points from safety. And that'll be game. That is Wolverhampton Wanderers safe in the Premier League for another season. Well done, gents. Now, sort your morale out and please be very happy. Delighted to beat our rivals. Hopefully morale sorts itself out. Embolo's out for a month, so he will no longer play for us because he's leaving for Fiorentina at the end of the season. But that's fine. Guedes is leaving us for Chelsea as well. De Gea was very good. And what's that done for morale? It was all very poor. It's now fairly good, very good. Lovely. That'll do. And then Southampton at home in 8 days' time, just to celebrate with the home fans our survival on the final day. Fans and the board expect a draw in the final game of the season against Southampton. So, on the final day, the top 4 positions are already certified. No one can catch anyone else or be caught from below. Man United could lose out on 5th to West Ham in 6th. West Ham in 6th have Newcastle who are 4th, and Manchester United in 5th have 12th placed Leeds United. Tottenham could also sneak above West Ham and even Manchester United if they win their game, which is against 18th placed Fulham. Now 18th placed Fulham need to make sure that they don't lose. If they draw and Brentford lose to bottom placed West Brom, unlikely, then Fulham will survive. Fulham need really to win, hope that Brentford avoid a victory, and Sheffield United only need a point to guarantee survival, but they've got 9th placed Arsenal. So there is still something to play for in the midfield and at the top and bottom of the table, but it does look like it's pretty much settled, to be honest. We'll play the same side that I've only selected 8 substitutes, have I? Well, Alexis McAllister can come back onto the bench, and he can play 45 minutes, apparently. We'll play the same side that played against West Brom and got the win. Try and keep morale up and go and get ourselves a solid result here. I'll point the finger and say, can we go for revenge? And everybody seems to be motivated and inspired by that. So hopefully we can go and end the season the right way with back-to-back victories. And then we'll see what our budgets are like for next year. With a number of players on the way out and hopefully a number of players on the way in, we'll see what happens. Livramento down the right for Wolves here. 10 minutes to go in the game. Lavia taking his time. Tino's cross blocked, but still Southampton in possession. Gallardo bursts into the box. That's blocked, and De Gea will take it. Can we? Can we steal a win at the death on the final day to kind of head into the new season with the right mindset and in the right morale for a successful year? And Raul Jimenez will end his time at Wolverhampton Wanderers with an assist. That's 1-0 to us. Carlos Alenia, who's rumoured to be wanted by Atletico Madrid, pops up with the goal. We will now waste a lot of time, go back to playing for set pieces, and see this one out from here, we hope. And because we're now winning, regardless of Everton winning, we will finish the season in 14th place. Just 2 points behind Leicester, who happen to be the side that Everton are beating. Fulham, however, 2-1 down against Tottenham, so Fulham are relegated. We, however, end the season with back-to-back wins, and I'll say nice work, lads, well done. A number of players playing their final game for the club there. Reece Nelson's loan expires. Raul Jimenez now leaves the club. Nelson Semedo now leaves the club. But a strong spell at Wolves. A strong spell. I'm happy enough with that. Nelson Semedo is injured for 2 to 3 weeks. We get 13.51 million for finishing where we did. The board are disappointed that the team only achieved a mid-table position. However, considering we looked like relegation candidates earlier in the season, things could have been worse. Well, you brought me in purely to avoid relegation, and we have become an established Premier League team, according to your current vision. We have passed that, so the board are happy. They're a B-. The fans are B+. And with a couple of Portuguese signings next year, we might make a little bit of a move forward again. That is our domestic league season done. Now, Semedo leaves us. Connor Cody leaves us. Reece Nelson leaves us. Guedes leaves us. Embolo leaves us. Jimenez leaves us. Plenty of players on their way out. We'll wait to see what budgets we have for next year to try and bring players in. Time will tell. We'll head to just beyond the Champions League final and have a full season roundup. End of season review. Oh, new arrivals. Nelson came in, got 2 goals, 6 assists. Pleased with him. His form definitely tailed off towards the end of the season, though. Ricardo Horta came in, got 1 goal, 3 assists. Pleased with him. Al Mazrati was alright. He wasn't spectacular, though. Estupinian was alright. Squad player. Sergio Oliveira was decent. I'm leaning towards triggering that extension in the contract. Stanisic was decent. Embolo was rubbish, and we've sold him on again. De Gea was good. Anthony was alright. 1 goal, 1 assist. McAllister, I'm hoping to get a bit more out of next season. Obviously, picked up some injuries this year. The board are pleased that the team have achieved a mid-table position. C+. Considering earlier on in the season they were relegation threatened. We saved them from relegation. In the FA Cup, knocked out in the third round by Sheffield United. Bollocks. And in the Carabao Cup, they were already out of that when we arrived. Moments to remember. Biggest win was a 5-1 over Norwich. Max to remember was a 3-1 over Norwich. And goal of the season was Reece Nelson's goal in the 3-0 win over Brentford. Let's have a look at that. This was our goal of the season then for Wolverhampton Wanderers this year. This was the game where we scored 3 goals in 7 minutes. And Lenya picks up the ball in midfield there, over the top to Reece Nelson, who then races onto it and lobs the keeper into the back of the net. That is a very good finish. Sure, we scored some better though. Club's reputation hasn't really changed. No new sponsorship deals, so revenue-wise, we're basically about the same. There's minimal between any of that. And hopefully, we'll get a little bit more money in the transfer window, given some of the outgoings that we currently have and may have even more so. Got 5 trophies in my career so far. The National League, the FA Trophy, the Papa John's Trophy in League 2, and the Coupe de France. 2 managerial awards. National League Manager of the Year and League 2 Manager of the Year as well. We also got another promotion in there with Toulouse as well. I have to bear that in mind too. And added to our managerial timeline is You're Hired at Wolves. Done deal from McAllister. Future star on Jovan Tomic. Signed the Ting. Fabian Silva signed the Ting. And my 200th game in charge was a 1-0 win over Southampton on the final day. So as we end the season, I have 200 games in management. Ricardo Pereira's physicals are dead, so he is not an option for right back next season. Al Mazrati is drafted into the overall best 11, although it is only on the bench. Supporter profile changes. We actually lost 75,000 social media followers somehow. Club vision expectations. They want a top half finish next year. They want a top half finish. I'm not sure about that. A top half finish? Okay. Yikes. End of team meeting. Discuss plans for next season. I'm going to say... Oh, well, I'll say top half finish. Top half next time around. And that's a target everybody's happy to get behind. Good. Okay. If everyone's happy to get behind the top half, then top half is what we will aim for. Training camp. Let's go to Portugal for a training camp if we can. We can't. USA, Germany, Austria, South Africa, Scotland, Netherlands, Singapore, China. Let's go to Singapore. There's a lot of money in Singapore. Al-Mazrati resumes full training. Right, let's go and get that Champions League final done and dusted, and then we can have a full season roundup before we begin the transfer window madness. Right, so let's give you an end of season roundup then, shall we? Leagues in focus, having a look at all of the top divisions and a little bit more. So in England, Manchester City won the Premier League by 9 points, beating Liverpool on the final day to extend that advantage. Liverpool, Chelsea, Newcastle and West Ham all get Champions League football. Liverpool, we believe, won the Champions League, which is why 5th place West Ham get Champions League football. Tottenham and Manchester United are in the Europa League. Aston Villa in the Europa Conference League. And Arsenal are without European football. Fulham, Norwich and West Brom take the drop. We will perhaps have a look through their squads and see if there's anyone worth poaching in a bit. Bournemouth are coming up after beating Blackburn in the playoff final. Brighton won the league and QPR are coming back to the Premier League. Millwall, Bristol City and Birmingham relegated from the Championship. In League One, it's Notts County. Wow. So I left Notts County 2 seasons ago. We got them from the National League into League 2 and then into League 1. And now 2 years later, they're going to the Championship. The upwards trajectory continues for Notts County. Barnsley and Rotherham also going up. Shrewsbury, Accrington, Charlton and Sutton go down. In League 2, Swindon won the playoffs. Cambridge promoted by finishing second. Only a point of Forest Green at the top. Crewe getting that 3rd automatic promotion spot. Walsall and Newport County down to the conference. Hartlepool back in the Football League, as well as Gillingham, Dorking, Yeovil, Oldham and Telford down to the regional Vanarama divisions, with Boston United going up to the National, as well as Kidderminster, who apparently are a affiliate club of Wolves. Kidderminster not far from Wolverhampton, to be fair. Hednesford, Hereford, Colville and Macclesfield relegated from the north. From the south, Dagenham and Redbridge are back up to the National, with Boreham Wood winning the Championship by a single point from Dagenham and Redbridge, and they're both going to go up to the National League again. Hemel Hempstead, Basingstoke, Enfield Town and Eastbourne Borough relegated there. The FA Cup was won by Tottenham by 4-2. Heung-min Son with all 4. Man City won the Carabao Cup, so they do the double. Liverpool won the Community Shield on penalties. It was Man City versus Liverpool in the Community Shield. It was Man City versus Liverpool in the Carabao Cup. And it was Man City versus Liverpool in the Champions League as well. Papa John's Trophy was won by Preston. FA Trophy was won by South Shields. Congratulations to them. Elsewhere around Europe then, Inter Milan by a point from Juventus in Italy. Now I'm keeping my eye out for any big clubs that have underperformed whose jobs might become available. I would be open to leaving Wolves after saving them from relegation to take a step up somewhere else. Maybe Napoli, but we'll wait and see. Cremonese, Brescia and Benevento relegated there. In the Eredivisie, FC Emmen win the... Whoops. FC Emmen win the stages. FC Emmen win the playoff. PSV win the league. Ajax only third. Full 12 points behind PSV Eindhoven. In La Liga, it's Barca second. Real Madrid get 102 points. Atleti third. Valencia ninth, but do get Champions League football. So they presumably then have won the Europa League, Valencia. Getafe, Granada and Huesca relegated. No big sides underperforming there, really. So I don't think there's going to be any jobs available from La Liga. In the Bundesliga, Schalke win the relegation playoff, so they will stay up. Bayer Leverkusen 10th, Wolfsburg 9th. The Wolfsburg manager was under threat earlier in the season. Bayern win the league, however, at a canter by 19 points from Frankfurt. Dortmund third on 61, and then Borussia Mönchengladbach in fourth. Leipzig do get Champions League football in fifth, though. And Hertha Berlin get Europa Conference League football. FC Köln in Europe and Freiburg. Go on, lads. Leipzig fifth. Dinamo Dresden and Augsburg relegated from the Bundesliga. In the Portuguese divisions, Sporting only fourth, and Europa Conference League football for them. Porto win the league with Benfica second and Braga third. In League, it's Ajaccio that lose the playoff to Lens, although there is still a second leg to play. PSG win the league there, though, by a margin. Five points, actually. Not quite as big as a margin as I imagined. I looked there at Marseille on 63 and thought that said 68 there. Nice fourth. Lyon only fifth. Maybe Lyon is a job worth taking if it becomes available. Toulouse, our former team this season, ended up finishing in 11th in Liga after we got them promotion last year. Brazil and Argentina we're not too bothered about for those that are always curious. In Scotland, in the Cinch Premiership, Celtic won the league by 16 points from Rangers. Congratulations to Celtic. So, in the European competitions then, the Champions League final was Liverpool against City. Liverpool won by 2-0, so they might not have won the Premier League, but they do win the Champions League. Mo Salah with a brace. The Europa League was, as we anticipated, won by Valencia, so that's how they got Champions League football. And Genk won the Europa Conference League on penalties against Villarreal. But I believe Villarreal finished in a Europa League position anyway, and they did indeed get Europa League football. So there is still Europa League football for Villarreal next year, despite the fact that they lost that final. And that is your season roundup. We have a number of players leaving us in the not too distant future. We have a £55 million transfer budget, and we are also going to keep our eye on the jobs that are available in the save to see if there's perhaps something worth going to. The Ajax job is available. I will apply for Ajax. Anything else sizable there? It doesn't look like it. But Ajax is certainly worth applying for, isn't it? Outside of that, nothing catches the eye at the moment. For the YouTube video then, that will bring us to a close for now, because it's just summer transfer window stuff from here, and the new season won't start for a little while. So drop the video a like if you've enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and you won't miss out on what comes next, whether that be with Wolves or with someone else. And do come and join me on Twitch. You can be involved in the summer transfer window live. For the YouTube video, that is all now though. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.